Hey, it's Mike again. Let's do some more reading out of Adventures Beyond the Body, How to Experience Out-of-Body Travel by William Buhlman. Chapter 2, Meetings Out of Body. Any significantly advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Arthur C. Clarke. Let me try this again. Any significantly advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. From the Imagineer, fictional writer, and someone who influenced us in so many ways, Arthur C. Clarke. Now we're journal entry February 21st, 1985. I entered the vibrational state and feel waves of energy flowing through my body. It's a soothing sensation of energy radiating from deep within me. As I focus on the vibrational changes, I feel pulses of energy flowing through me and a distinct sensation of hands gently touching my body. Of hands gently touching his body. Sounds familiar. At first, I'm startled, but I quickly realize that the sensation is comforting and even enjoyable once I get accustomed to it. And the waves of energy seem to increase and decrease in a rhythmically sequence, and I can feel myself becoming lighter and lighter until I'm completely detached from my body. I recognize that I'm floating just out of phase with my physical body and could easily separate at any moment. However, I also sense that I should remain still and allow the vibrational process to continue. I can feel a subtle touch of hands as they move from the bottom of my feet upward along my entire body. Each touch creates waves of energy resonating through me. It feels as though my internal vibrational rate is being adjusted to a new energy level or frequency. I sense that the person or persons next to me are doing a form of energy work on me. For over 20 minutes, the energy currents systematically move and flow through my non-physical body. My body and my mind seem to resonate with the energy waves, and I feel an overwhelming sense of peace and unity throughout my being. Slowly, the waves of energy dissipates and my physical sensations return. My mind is racing with questions. What is this? What is the purpose? What entity or entities are touching me? One thing is certain, I felt noticeably light and airy for several hours afterwards. My entire body felt as though it was vibrating at a higher and finer rate. I strongly suspect that I've just experienced a vibrational or frequency adjustment of my non-physical being. I can only imagine that I may have needed this energy adjustment in order to expand and enhance my non-physical exploration. Even though no one communicated with me, I knew that this process was an important energy adjustment required for my personal development. Also, I realized that these energy sensations were completely different from the vibrations I normally experience during the vibrational phase before separation. I received a strong sense of direction and purpose as the hands of energy touched me. I believe that it was one or possibly two entities working on me. Like unseen chiropractors, they seem to know precisely what they were doing. Each touch altered my internal vibrational rate at a specific point within my non-physical body and created energy waves resonating deep within me. Though startling at first, this was a thoroughly enjoyable experience that I know will occur again. So now he's interacting with entities that he believes that are persons. Journal entry, December 5th, 1986. I lie in bed visualizing my living room and repeating to myself, now I am out of body, for approximately 15 minutes. After drifting off to sleep, I feel the vibrations and spontaneously do a sideways roll out of my body. I fall to the floor and open my eyes. Everything is blurry and I feel extremely heavy and out of sync. I crawl a few feet and say aloud, I am light as a feather. I feel a surge of inner energy and I'm instantly lighter and able to stand. As I move away from my bed, my vision remains poor, so I make another request. Clarity now. My vision seems to snap into focus and I immediately stride forward through the wall of my room and into a bright green environment. Looking around, I realize that I am in an open meadow. There's always this open meadow. I feel somewhat confused by the rapid change of surroundings and spontaneously call aloud, where am I? I suddenly feel the presence of someone close by, and a series of vivid pictures enter my mind. You have raised your vibrational rate when you ask for lightness, and again when you ask for clarity. You have entered a higher frequency environment that is very close to the physical. End quote. I'm amazed at the clarity of the images entering my mind. It's difficult to describe, but they are visual representations of ideas, not words. The communication is far more direct and precise than words. I understand the meaning and look for the source. I can feel the energy radiation of someone directly in front of me, but can see nothing. Out of curiosity, I call out, who are you? Again, the images stream in my mind. I'm an old friend who is observing your progress. The feeling instilled in the images are warm and friendly. I'm completely at ease and firmly make a request. I want to see you. I watch in amazement as the hazy outline of an image appears. A transparent hologram of a man becomes increasingly dense before me. He has dark hair and short beard and wears a long purple robe. There's that dude again with the purple robe. Of course he has dark hair. He's about 5'10" tall and broad smile radiates from his face. At first I'm startled by the reality of his rapid materialization, but he seems to sense my discomfort and a series of comforting images appears in my mind. Quote, no need to fear. You and I are old friends. End quote. I somehow sense his friendship and calm down. As I stare at this man, he seems pleased to see me. He seems to know my thoughts and responds to the questions that fill my mind. This is a very important statement. He seems to know my thoughts and responds to the questions that fill my mind. In this supernatural experiences that we call Bigfoot and dogmen and cryptids and ghosts, are these familiar spirits? Are these regional spirits? Are these generational spirits that are paying attention to what we're thinking and they're manifest those things that we so summon? It's just a question on my part. I added that last couple sentences. All right. Once again, as I stare at this man, he seems pleased to see me, and he seems to know my thoughts and response to questions that fill my mind. Quote, I'm just as you, only difference is I don't possess a physical vehicle. We were friends from long ago and have worked together on numerous projects within the interior. You and I have explored far beyond the second membrane. Now you are exploring the dense region again. You have a strange fascination with the physical, one that I don't share. End quote. There is a brief pause as my questions form. Quote, I'm acting as one of your guides. Notice he's acting. He's not saying. He says that he is. He's acting as one of his guides, or it's acting as one of his guides. You have several different individuals assisting you in different aspects of your life. In a way, each person assisting you is a specialist in a given area of existence. You and I love to explore inward, and so I'm here to assist in that part of your life. You were correct in your conclusion. A guide would never interfere in the natural evolution of an individual's personal development. We realize that we must remain unobserved unless assistance is requested. Even then, we must appraise the situation and its consequences before we act. End quote. My mind is overflowing with endless questions, and the being before me seems to understand and accept my thoughts. His calming thought images pinpoint specific questions as he continues, quote, each person who has an out-of-body or near-death experience has a guide presented during the experience. Assistance is always available, but it must be requested. So there's a guide, an assisting guide. Each person who has an out-of-body or near-death experience has a guide present during the experience. I wonder how much is that true and how much is the deception on their part. A guide. What great knowledge is anybody learning? There is nothing to fear, but many are still unaware that their thoughts manifest their reality. This is a very important statement. Their thoughts manifest their reality. As you now know, this can happen instantly. The end result can be startling to the novice explorer. Most physical inhabitants possess little control over their thoughts. This is true. I am one of those. I can be blamed for that. After a brief pause, he continues, quote, as you are learning, thought control and focus are absolutely essential. This is especially true as you explore deeper within the interior of the universe, which is a blatant statement. I mean, the universe. And then, what the hell is it actually? I mean, we know it was been presented to us from the high priestess, scientism, and of cosmology and cosmogony. But, what is it really? Do we know? Do we individually truly know? Or those images have been implanted into our heads by outside forces? I just interjected those couple less sentences. Your control is getting better, but you still have fears to overcome. You felt your fears when you became visible. When I became visible, excuse me. You felt your fears when I became visible to you. I could tell that you were wobbling in your energy field and close to re-entering your body. Always remember, when we conquer our fears, we gain our liberation. Is this a true statement or not? But it's something that's worth looking into and remember. Once again, always remember, when we conquer our fears, we regain our liberation. Very shortly, you will experience some new ways to confront your fears, both in the dense body and in your higher frequency bodies. Plural. Higher frequency bodies. Plural. Each experience will serve a purpose. Each obstacle is a blessing in disguise. End quote. At that instant, I snap back into my physical body and open my eyes. I feel like I'm being prepared for something to come, but I don't have a clue what it could be. I feel a strange sense of friendship with this man, a man in quotes, at least this entity that presents himself as a man in a purple robe. I sense his positive intentions and feel somehow more prepared to face the unknown. His last images echo in my mind. Quote, each obstacle is a blessing in disguise, end quote. I can't help but wonder if he's explaining my past or preparing me for my future. As I review this experience, I can't help but notice some similarities between my non-physical friend and the guide described in Paul Tichel's books. Even though the two resemble each other, it seems unlikely that they are the same person. Over the years, I have met several out-of-body explorers who have described a similar appearing non-physical guide. The reason for this is unknown, but I wonder whether our existing concept of a non-physical guide or even may influence but I wonder whether our existing concept of a non-physical guide or even may influence what we experience when out of body. Let's try this again. The reason for this is unknown. I wonder whether our existing concept of a non-physical guide or even or event, not even, I don't know where I kept on missing that T, or event, so non-physical, our concept of non-physical guide or event may influence what we experience when out of body. So this is true, or that may be true, it seems to be true, that these images that are planted in our brains by other people and other entities is what we end up seeing. Yes, power of manifestation, the power of influence, suggestion. The power of suggestion is what it is. Journal entry, January 3, 1987. I feel the vibrations and lift out. I'm standing in my bedroom and looking around. I see the surroundings are similar but not exact. The woodwork and the walls are different from those of my physical home. I move to the door and step through it. Instantly, I'm in a new environment. A woman that I somehow seem to know approaches me. She's tall, with long brown hair and sparkling eyes. They always are tall. Or she's white with big feet as well. She steps close to me and smiles. "I've missed you." Spontaneously I respond, "Me too." What does that mean, me too? She kisses me and warmly takes my hand, and suddenly we're in another environment. A magnificent park-like setting comes into focus. We stand together at the edge of the crystal blue-green pool. Everything around me, the trees, the grass, the pond, are vibrantly live. They're vibrantly live, like they vibrate and shimmer like the Bigfoot crawling up that ravine towards me, huh? As I look at the woman, an, an intense feeling of love swells inside me. She stares at me and holds my hands. Quote, "You travel so much. I need you here." End quote. I hold her close. "I'm here now." End quote. Her face and body seem to shine like 10,000 points of light. This is very important. 10,000 points of light. Is there a possibility those 10,000 points of light are similar to what we call orbs or spirits that are hooking together to give him this shimmering image of a woman? I'm just asking the question. I don't know, but I'm just asking that question. We kiss, and a surge of energy flows in my mind. So why do they need a kiss? It's a bit sexual here. Our bodies and minds come together in a tense explosion of pure energy and joy. Our thoughts merge and touch one another in 1,000 subtle ways. I feel immersed in her mind as she and I become as one. The ecstasy is beyond words. For the first time, I feel complete and whole. I think to myself, "My God, I don't want this to end." Well, yeah. Yeah. Well, you guys, you know what I'm talking about, yeah. With a jolt, I'm snapped back into my body, and my entire being seems to vibrate at a lighter, finer level than I have ever known before. Even my physical body feels different, somehow brighter, lighter, energized beyond my conception. Well, making love to a beautiful woman can do that to you for a little bit. I lie in my bed and enjoy the waves of energy that flow through my body and mind. The sensation lasts for several minutes. I remain still and enjoy every moment. I wonder if he feels exhausted afterwards. Like he needs to take a nap. For many weeks after this experience, I pondered its meaning. Was this sex in the inner worlds, or was it a unification of my conscious mind with a higher aspect of myself? I feel that I should know the answer, but I don't. Yeah, that was a damn good question, buddy. Journal entry, October 15th, 1988. I repeat my regular affirmation as I drift to sleep, Quote, "Now I am out of body," end quote. Within seconds, I'm floating above my body and direct myself to the foot of my bed. Out of habit, I say aloud, "Clarity now." Instantly, my awareness becomes clear, and I spontaneously think about exploring. Where's that chick? I just added that. There's a sense of rapid motion, and I'm standing in a magnificent park-like courtyard. Oh, there's that courtyard. As I focus, I see around me a dozen people riding bikes and roller skating. Really? In the spirit realm. The courtyard is in the size of a football field, with several large trees and a stone wall broader about border. So try this. And a stone wall border about 8 feet high. I notice that a woman is pushing a baby stroller and two boys are throwing a ball back and forth. Why would they be doing that in the spirit realm? The entire environment feels happy and relaxed. I'm especially interested in the baby stroller. I've never seen an infant when out of body. To my surprise, it smiles, red-haired girl. To my surprise, a smiling red-haired girl, about 12 years old, skates over to me and asks, quote, "Are you new here?" Excuse me, "You're newer here, aren't you?" Unquote. I respond, "I guess I am." Out of nowhere, it starts to rain and everyone in the courtyard scrambles for cover. I'm amazed. In 15 years, I've never seen weather changes when out of body. The girl stares at me and points to the shelter under the tree. "Come on, let's go over there." Why would that matter if it's raining in the spirit realm? I can't believe how real the softly falling rain seems. As I enjoy feeling it flow down my face, I wonder if this is a conscious environment. Out of curiosity, I focus all my attention on stopping the rain. The girl stares at me as if I'm crazy. "What are you doing?" "I'm stopping the rain." Instantly, the rain stops. The girl continues to stare and asks, "Are you a traveler?" I feel a slight tugging sensation at the center of my back and know I have to leave. Like someone's pulling him away or some things are pulling him away. "I've got to go." She looks deeply disappointed and says, "Will you come back?" As I look at her face, I snap back into my physical body. A tingling sensation quickly fades as my physical sensation returns. Opening my eyes, I can vividly see the girl's face in my mind. For some unknown reason, I miss her. I feel I know her, but I can't remember how or where. It's kind of cruel what's going on here if you really think about it. It's kind of frustrating because I know there's a connection. I've realized for some time that coincidence is non-existent. I also wonder about her question, "Are you a traveler?" Are you a fellow traveler? Have you heard that one before? Very much a Freemasonic phrase. Journal entry, September 16th, 1989. As I drift off to sleep, I repeat my normal affirmation. Now I am out of body. 30 or 40 times. As much as possible, I intensify and hold my affirmation as my last conscious thought before going to sleep. I awaken to a slight vibration and sense of rapid motion. After several seconds, I find myself standing in a multi-leveled parking structure. Of course, that makes all the sense. Why not in the spirit realm? In the distance, I can see ramps heading up and down. As I look around, an unusual sight attracts my attention. A shiny new car is half buried in a pile of dirt. It looks so strange that I'm drawn to it. I think to myself, who would do this to a beautiful new car? For some reason, I have an overpowering need to look inside and begin to brush the dirt away from the windows and doors. As I work, I realize that this is a huge job before me. Even so, I continue to dig handfuls of dirt away from the windows. Finally, a window is clear and I peer inside. Instead of a normal interior, I see a radiant white light uh, permeating uh, the inside of the car. The light seems vibrantly alive with energy and life. I feel an intense inner connection to the light, an overwhelming need to open the car door. With increased intensity, my hands tear at the dirt and slowly clear another window. Out of nowhere, a car pulls up behind me with a young man inside. I immediately sense that we know each other quite well, but I can't remember how or when. He smiles as he speaks. Quote, "You've got a lot of work ahead of you," end quote. Surprised by his presence, I nod in agreement and walk over to his car. Quote, "Would you like to help?" End quote. He seems amused by my request and replies, quote, "Each of us must free ourselves," end quote. hmm. Hmm. His words seem to ring in my mind as I instantly snap back to my physical body. My physical sense quickly returns as I ponder the experience. Each of us must free ourselves. More than ever, I realize that my mind is interpreting my out-of-body experiences based upon my current physical concepts, symbols, and images. So true. That have been cleverly handed to us. It's apparent that a higher part of myself is orchestrating my experience in a manner that's appropriate for my current understanding. I recognize and understand the dreamlike imagery of this experience, but I question whether it is necessary. In my mind, the experience is clear. My striving to free my inner self energy and my soul. So I'm striving to free my inner self energy, my inner energy self. Let me try this again. I'm striving to free my inner energy self, my soul. The dirt represents all the negative trash that I collected and accepted over the years. It's just about 99% of everything that's ever been put in our heads. I added that. I've collected and accepted over the years attachments, fears, limits, all the negative attributes and emotions I am working to remove. My personal dirt is limiting, blocking, and restricting the light of my soul from shining forth. I can't help but wonder what would happen if I demanded to see the true energy source represented by the form. Now, for the first time, I fully understand that many of the forms I see when out of body are created for my benefit. They are manifested for my comprehension. Our minds are obviously conditioned to react to forms, not to pure energy. Interestingly, it's clear that my higher mind and soul are creating the outer forms I perceive in order to teach me what I need to know. Now I feel ready to see the reality behind the forms. Next time I'm going to ask to see the actual raw energy behind all the forms that I perceive. It might be a good place to stop. So anyways, this is part 1 of chapter 2 of Adventures Beyond the Body, how to experience out-of-body travel. And this one is meetings out of body. So these are these entities or beings that he's meeting out of his body. Hope you're enjoying this. This might take quite a while to read this stuff, but I'm just going to do bits and pieces. Because, as simple as it actually is, it's also so kind of new to me that I have to really digest what I'm reading here and think about what's been delivered to me, purposes and why. Anyways,
If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. If you're going to try, go all the way. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, jobs, and maybe your mind.